What's going on, Virgos? This is your girl, Miss RHW, here with another love reading for y'all for the middle of Aries season. Let's see what's going on in your love lives. Of course, this is a reading for the collective of Virgo, so if it does, some parts of this reading may not resonate. Please understand, you know, or rather take what resonates with you, leave the rest for any other Virgo that could be watching the video. If you guys did want a personal reading, of course, because you are looking for more information pertaining to your situation directly, there's a link in the description box below to help you out with that. Okay. Aside from that, y'all, if you're noticing my energy is a little low today, it is just because I'm very sleepy. I had a very weird sleep schedule for the last couple of weeks. For the last week, really. Excuse me. But I'm just curious. Love is so interesting to me. You know how I love it. You know how I feel about love. So ain't nobody gonna stop me from figuring out what the hell's going on with y'all love life. So we're gonna take a look at this. Virgo. What's going on with love with Virgos for the middle of damn. Alright. 4 Wands. Some of you guys are asking about whether or not either the connection will start getting into moving up in its level of commitment, or some of you guys may be moving into someone else's house or moving into a new home. Maybe moving into a new area. New community, finding new people. Maybe. Let's see what's up. Let's see what the rest of this reading says. Nice. Okay. I mean, dang. Lovers. This is like 2 cards from Leo's reading. That's kind of wild. There, at least Queen of Pentacles is back in the spot that was for Leo. So if you guys have got any significant Leo placements, or the person that you are asking about or are concerned about in your love life happens to be a Leo, I will just take a look at that. Check that out. 3 of Pentacles, or 3 of Cups. Some of you guys may be reconnecting reconnecting with somebody from one of your friend groups. The 3 of Cups can talk about friendships, but you got an interesting card here. Okay, 8 of Cups. Yeah, there's a lot of recurring themes already from Leo, which is interesting. Okay. Now, I feel like maybe at some periods, maybe in the past, y'all had a little more fun. You guys were worried about yourselves and trying to explore and flesh out your character, understand some things about yourself. Maybe there's been some aspects about yourself that you've been changing and trying to get right for yourself. But the 8 of Cups suggests that there's just something missing, something not there, or not. It's not present, and it's bothering you. It's proven to be dissatisfactory. Something along those lines. Like you want this to be more. You want it to be more serious. You want it to be, or not more serious, but you just, again, something that's just not, that would be more satisfactory. It would be ideal. 3 of Cups. Yeah, some of you guys may be reconnecting with somebody, or this is about support. People that are in your corner that you can that you can truly lean on because they really care about you. They consider what could be your best interest. They look out for what is in your best interest. They are there for you in that sense. So nice. Okay. The question itself is about the 4 of Wands. Again, it could be about you guys thinking about how things could be progressing, how about the progression of a relationship for you guys. This could just be talking about you guys, moving up in a level of commitment, like I had said before. Some of you guys could be considering moving to a different home, different community, different city, moving in with somebody that you are currently dating. So there's a lot of different ways that this could be read, especially for our singles and our established Virgos. But the reason for asking is the Five of Cups. There's just something, again, there's something missing. The Five of Cups more so is like focusing on the past of either instances where a sense of connection or friendships or support was lost, or maybe that in the past there wasn't that sort of um like it could feel like something was amiss or something was gone. And the Five of Cups is like mourning, um, feeling. It's like it's a bit of sadness, a bit of depression, a bit. The Five of Cups is like a situation, a missed opportunity sometimes. But the Five of Cups is like, I mean, it could be a missed opportunity, but the other meaning for the Five of Cups is that not all is excuse me. The other meaning for the Five of Cups could be that it's suggesting that not all is lost. There's still something there to work with, is to work on. And it could be like a totally different friendship. This could be a friendship turning into a more stable relationship. But the reason for asking, it could just be that maybe you're worried that the person has moved on or no longer interested. Um, I really feel like it's just somebody. I think this is just like this feeling that somebody feels like they missed the mark or missed some situation that it could have inevitably moved the relationship closer to a more ideal situation. So this makes this energy here in the problem portion of your reading very interesting. I feel like the root of the problem comes from someone who has their guard up. Now, this isn't the queen, I would say, has a full-fledged guard up. You know, like the Queen of Swords. So she's got a sword in people's face at the same time beckoning them closer. It's like, hey, come here. She's not like gonna. Like, she doesn't always mean she's. That doesn't always mean that she's going to cut you up and make you dinner. You know, it could just be that maybe she's anointing you. You know, it could be a whole ton of things. She's listening to your concerns and assessing what that could, what she could do to help you. What kind of advice she's giving. That's the Queen of Swords. The Queen of Pentacles, however, she is only investing in what she feels is worth investing in. So her boundaries are up. She has her guard up because she doesn't want her time wasted. This is Capricorn. Capricorn is time. Excuse me. Capricorn's ruling planet is Saturn, which is also known as the Time Lord. So they tend to consider time to be very, 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 very valuable. On top of that, there is a level of commitment that you feel like you deserve because you are such a quality individual to be around. This is usually wife or husband material right here, the Queen of Pentacles. So when I see this, I'm thinking that maybe someone is really showing up in a connection and seeing that they themselves are putting out energy that they want to, like, that they're looking to stabilize and grow more exponentially than where they've started out. I feel like maybe in the past it was a little bit more free flowing, not so committal, just again trying to be explorative. And there has been some, like, in doing so, there's just been very little to be desired, very dissatisfactory. Always having, like, it always felt like you were looking and searching, even within the relationships that you found yourself in, always searching for something better. It just always felt like it was just something missing. That the Queen of Pentacles, I feel like she knows what's missing. It's the reality element. It's the consistency element. It's the loyalty element. It's the like the stand your ground sort of element. And I'm not saying that y'all need to bear arms. And some of y'all may be in a country that don't have that ability to do that outside of like getting some blades. But it's not really about defending your household per se. It's more of like someone who has developed enough substance in the connection to not flake out when a situation gets tough. Because the Knight of Wands, he doesn't really stick around when the situations get serious. If it gets serious and hard and difficult, and it starts to or run into an aspect of the mundane, he's out of there. He's all about excitement and spontaneity. So I feel like it was just something always dissatisfactory about something always dissatisfactory about um trying to discover yourself and then also have hopes for something real to establish yourself out of it, but it never started out like that, so it may have fallen through, and it always felt like there was just something more that could have been provided. And yeah, so yeah, I feel like now this is like you have maybe are starting, maybe you have your own sense of independence as well. Now, some of you guys that are single out here, this could be that you guys, are really, you guys are actually more focused on your work, more focused on career, more focused on your finances now. Some of you guys may be single, like like I said, single, but you guys are not like single because you're too busy. You're single by choice because you're looking for the right, for the right relationship to invest in. Rambling on too long about that energy there. The Queen of Pentacles just seems like to me there's more boundaries, and you are setting up, you're setting yourself up for expectations that are tangible. You're dating because you want things to actually go somewhere real. But your external energy, you get the lovers. So this is like, okay, the lovers is like interesting because it's like there's something about your decisions that something about decisions and choices. The lovers is sometimes about decisions and choices. Hmm. Soulmate energy. It's an external energy. But I feel like, yeah, you know what your heart wants. But there's a part of you again, that the mental part of this, for this reading, the mental ruling, the mental. Okay, so this energy. I'm so sorry, y'all, about my stuttering and my speech impediments. Oh, so the feminine is your heart. Like, so the female in the card here represents represents your heart. The man in the image represents the mental portion of your situation, of yourself. The mental portion, as we know when it comes to loving situations, tends to be the protector of the heart, which the heart doesn't have a sense of protection. I don't think it puts you in harm's way. It does what you feel. It leads you in the direction that you feel is right for you. Not saying it's putting you in harm's way, the heart, but sometimes the mind would be convinced that the heart is leading them astray, and leading them into a situation where they're, not only vulnerable but susceptible to being hurt. So the eight of sorry the eight of swords, the man, and the mental aspect of the lovers is almost kind of looking like the boundary portion, the boundary aspects of the Queen of Pentacles are very much reinforced. It's protecting you and keeping you safe, but so safe that it's making the options or the relationships that in your life either that much more prized, meaning you take them way more seriously and you want to really flourish them and dedicate energy to them. Like, you're really wanting to give back to the people who have been in your corner, or shown up for you, or been there for you in ways that you can reputably say has impacted your own personhood, and helped you be a more stable individual. On top of that, you're not trying to connect with somebody whose emotions are still being understood by them. I feel like there's a level of maturity that you have now, Virgo, and you're not looking to seriously entertain a relationship with someone who's not very emotionally aware and are trying to figure things out. You want something that's going to really either test you, but that's going to go in the direction of actual growth, like I said before. Interesting though, like because this is Gemini, right? This is your cousin. You know, your cousin. The reason why this is your cousin is because you guys share a ruling planet, and that ruling planet's Mercury. Mercury rules data and information. So this is just about assessing information and discerning whether or not it's something worth pursuing, on top of like acknowledging what your heart is telling you is yours. If you really want something, if this is something you've been desiring for a while, if it's something that you've been desiring for a while, then your mind, no matter how much it's holding, putting up blocks or trying to protect you, your heart's going to continue to lead you down a certain direction. It's just going to be like, yeah, well, sooner or later you trust, you have faith. So lovers, I feel like ironically, it's kind of bringing up faith vibes. But the King of Wands in your advice is very interesting because this is someone who kind of has a bit of frustrated energy. Sometimes this is talking about Leo, because again, I was just talking about how this is a lot. There's some reoccurring cards in this reading that are in Leo's reading. I don't know if you're dealing with a Leo or not, or dealing with a fire energy, but you're also being asked to maybe be something fire energy oriented, something along the lines of taking action. She's not necessarily like dormant, but she's not as active as the King or Queen of Wands. She is very confident in her abilities to manifest, her abilities to grow and sustain. This is the Queen of sustainability. The King of Wands, excuse me. He's not very. He's not really sustained or focused. He's more about exhibiting, um, or creating, um, his own reality. He's all about expression. This energy is not really focused on the long term. He's focusing on what it's about his heart, man. It's about how he feels more than anything, and not like the King of Cups, where it is about how he feels, but he's not taking actions around it. He's just, he's understanding it. He's learning it. He's nurturing it. It's not like the King of Cups in that way, but it's more of like, what do you want to feel? What do you want to express? And going for it, doing something, taking action, and making it a reality. Also, having confidence in yourself, building yourself confidence. The King of Wands, I've heard as well, can sometimes refer to your health. So, if your health, again, if health, finances, and things like that is kind of your forte or your situation in which you're really focusing on, then it could be that too. It could just be that you guys are really focusing on getting your health and your finances under control, your career and everything under control, trying to master your career. And sometimes this is like saying, just go ahead and continue focusing on what's yours to work on, what's yours to perfect. Because the King of Wands is a master of his suit, meaning he's a master of health, career, education, and projects and creative ventures, whether that is art or being practical in your world, or doing something that creating a system so it's easier for you to execute certain tasks or whatever. You have to be the main focus here. Um, it's about being selfish. King of Wands is not one that is very selfish. He only considers what he wants to do, what he wants to experience, what he wants to deal with. But he doesn't. I feel like the King of Wands is the only king, honestly, under his sleeve, knows how to have fun. Queen of Pentacles, she works her behind off. Fun time is a joke. I mean, it's like, what do you mean fun? There's things I gotta do with my time. There's things I gotta get done. I'm not on this planet forever. I gotta do what I need to do and get it done. King of Wands is like, well, I could do the mundane, but I'm not going to, because I'm not gonna lie to you, that's boring as fuck. So the King of Wands sits there and kind of gets frustrated. It's like pent up frustration because he's the thinking king. Ideally, this is the Leo. Sorry, traditionally, this card means Leo, but I've always seen the King of Wands almost like a Sagittarius, and that's just an energy that you guys are challenged in, where You guys are, looking at the details of situations. Sagittarius looks at the bigger picture. And maybe you're being asked to look at a bigger picture. But the King of Wands is someone who thinks a lot more than he does, which is really interesting for him because again, his suit is all about action being taken, doing something in the moment, living in the moment. She's always thinking about the future. What do I need to prepare? Um, Things like that. She's not ruminating, but she's had ordeals in the past that make her more conscious and more future conscious. So your outcome is interesting. The King of Pentacles here, excuse me. These two are married. You got a couple here. So maybe you meet someone that's kind of along your level, along your vibes. Again, some of you guys may already be in a relationship with somebody, and you guys have finally decided to allow yourself to either you're not compromising your independence by moving in with this person or moving up in a level of commitment with this person. You still feel pretty secure in yourself and free to do and be as you are, but that sense of loyalty shows up. I feel like the King and Queen of Pentacles are connected, are married, and they have a deep bond. Some of you guys become more physical with somebody. Some of you guys are maybe trying to move the level of your relationships to a more physical aspect. Maybe some of you guys feel like you may have missed the opportunity for a more sensual connection, and again, you have so much passion. You have so much either spontaneous energy. This energy, we would think the King of Wands, he is sexy, but he's not really all about sex. This energy is King of Pentacles. Sex is really more about Taurus, and it's all about the sensual. It's about the tangible feeling and all this stuff. So I really feel like you guys are like, no, I don't want to just cheaply give it away because it doesn't satisfy me like it used to. At one point, it had. Like this is that's where we go back to the King of Wands. Knight of Wands. Knight of Wands would have totally been about the spontaneous, the unexpected, the potentially short-term situations, because being serious was too much. Is too serious. Being serious, being locked down was suffocating, and it felt like was restricting. Now the King of Wands wants to put something into something that it really matters. Again, kind of interestingly enough, he wants just as much growth as she does. And considering that Leo rules children, this makes sense why he would be frustrated and halt a lot of his his efforts, because if it's not something that's going anywhere real, something that he can see grow in some shape or fashion, well, he's not going to be too interested about pursuing it. But the King of Pentacles is someone who really has good staying power. And again, there's a relationship between them that's so deep and intimate. And I feel like maybe some of you guys move in together and you guys start to be more intimate. You guys start to be more sexually charged together, and it's lovely. And you guys really invest in the connection. You guys have a snag or a hiccup, an argument comes up, I feel like, but you two are stable enough to see each other through to the other side of that argument, because you guys are in this to win this. You're not in this for, oh, this is a good time until it's not, and then you got to worry about the relationship crumbling because it's just not a good time. These two stick it out when the situations are driest. Okay, bare. I mean, these people, just as much as these two are sexual, they can go almost months without contact and still know that they deeply care and love for each other. Like, that's that strong staying power. They can have an argument and still go to bed together. They don't go to bed angry. I don't believe they do. And if they do, I mean, they, at the end of the day, the underlying of their two's energy is that we love so much. We care so much that no tension, conflict is going to wedge that unless it's truly compromising our boundaries. But these two respect the shit out of each other's boundaries. We have swords. So I feel like, yeah, the King of Wands is somebody that's looking at the past and is like, they've been hurt by how expressive they've been in the past, maybe, or freely expressive they were in the past, and never required or asked anyone of anything. The King of Wands is your advice, so I feel like now it's like it's okay to demand, or not. I say demand, but to want something and to ask for it and to pursue it. It's okay to go for something that you believe that you want. You shouldn't stop yourself because of maybe you feel guilty about the ways that the relationships have happened, have transformed or transpired or what have you. There is this weird sense of guilt that's coming up from this. I feel like, especially with the Five of Cups, looking at the past, seeing how situations work may have not worked out the way that you wanted to, but there's still something there. There's still a connection there. And there isn't a reason to beat yourself up about how things have happened in the past. Three of Swords, too, talks about being triggered as well. So, like, this is like, when I say triggered, I mean something comes up and it reminds you of a situation that's hurt you or made you, or reminds you of what you felt like you've lost in the past. You're not broken. There's something about the situation that suggests that you may seem like there's something broken about the situation, but that's not the case. This is like whatever wasn't serving you is no longer going to hold you back, and you may not have noticed it wasn't serving you because it was in that time frame. It was exactly how it was meant to be, desirable, made you happy, and all these things. But it in some aspect it wasn't going to push you into the direction that you would prefer to be now, which is to grow something real with somebody. So I feel like the three of swords, King of Wands, your advice is to believe that you deserve to have whatever you're trying to manifest. Have confidence in yourself and know that the past is not going to define you. It's going to provide you with lessons so you know what to do in the future. Provide you with information from lessons that will help you with doing things in the future. To prepare for them, to look for red flags. Why is the Five of Wands in the outcome? Hangman. Interesting. The Five of Wands and the Hangman are very interesting because the Five of Wands talks about there being fluctuation, changes, chaos almost. I say almost, is basically chaotic. But the Hangman is stagnant energies. Something not moving. Staying very still. But this is also about changing a change of perspective too. The Five of Wands is like, man, I don't have a problem with going in and dealing with a conflict and dealing with the challenge because I've had enough time to think about what it about. I feel like you've just grown. Enough, and you've grown because your perspective has changed, or it's something about your perspective change. Your perspective's changing. Your perspective has changed, and now you take on the challenge of a relationship because you know that there's more to a relationship than just the emotional stuff. The heart may feel like, you know what, this isn't really for me. But the mind is like, well, yeah, it's not for you. But the relationship is definitely not just how things feel. There's more to it. There's growth. I want to know what the Lovers is in your outcome now. We'll go back to that Hangman in a minute. The Fool, yeah, man. Oh wow. So the Fool, somebody's starting from the beginning, but this is again another soulmate connection. But I feel like you're making a decision between your head, right, the protector, and your heart, your intuitive guidance system, the part of you that's leading you into aspects and elements, are leading you into a situation where you show up more vulnerable than perhaps would be ideal for the mind to accept in that moment. So the Lovers is really like the illusion of choice. It's more about about the decision to accept what cannot be changed, and what your heart is already set on. Basically, was what I mean by what can't be changed. Because the hanged man is like, well, there's not gonna be much else after, and it's not gonna be much. There can't be much else until you notice that there is more to the situation. Like the situation is showing you more, but there's a very weird expectation for more, but you don't even know what that more is. So perhaps it's time to meditate and see the situation for what it is, so you can work more. You can work deeper, because the Five of Wands is like the challenge comes up, the arguing, this the disagreements, but it's not to run away. It's not. I don't think it's running away energy, even though the Knight of Wands and the King of Wands are showing up. I really feel like this is just like you have a new frame of mind around relationships when it gets tough. When you run into a situation in a relationship that's just challenging. The King of Pentacles, man, yeah, man, you got more strong staying power. You're like, I'm gonna make this work, because I can tell the difference between someone who's just not trying to make it work and someone who is. And they may, I'm starting to feel like maybe you had somebody in the past who you did feel really connected to, and maybe it was lost because maybe that person felt like there was just something non-committal about the connection. Someone had maybe had a boundary or certain stipulations that couldn't be fulfilled. I personally feel like maybe there's someone in the past that you they just the commitment level wasn't all the way there, and now you're there. Now you're there for it. Or if you have, or maybe you've always been there for it, and you just have had instances in the past, like instances in the past where while you were discovering yourself, you run into people who may seem like they wanted to play the long game, but didn't have the game plan or the maturity behind them, or the yeah, just I feel like the maturity or the desire for us for a long-term relationship. I just really feel like it's more maturity to see that when things get challenging, it's designed to strengthen your foundation, not prove to you that it was faulty, so you start from scratch again. Let's see what the Moonology card has for Virgo. But yeah, man, you've upgraded yourself, I feel like. And you're gonna find someone, if you're not already in a relationship with someone who's not going anywhere. They love you so much. They're so used to the routine. I think things have stagnated because they are not, they show they're not going nowhere. A change of perspective has come because this person has weathered the storm. Wow, new moon. Wow. There is a yes coming your way. This is one of the most auspicious cards in the deck. It's totally positive and suggests something new and exciting is developing. The situation you're asking about is blessed, and you are on target to achieve your goals. The message from the universe is that you're starting all over again in some way, be that on a new or better course or just feeling more positive about achieving your desired outcome. If you've been feeling stagnant, which is the hangman in the past, and the clarification cards, this card reminds you that life goes in cycles and you're moving into a new cycle now. This is the time to wipe the slate clean. If the situation you asked about has become toxic, either that will clear up now or something totally new and fresh is on its way. The teachings of this new moon card is it stipulates the new moon marks the start of the waxing cycle and midpoint of the dark moon. It's a dark and veiled time when the moon is invisible, and a time of rebirth. It's a time that witches do their work, making wishes and laying down intentions for a new cycle. An intensely magical time when it's easier to pierce the veil into other worlds. Interesting. Damn, I'm telling y'all, there is something brand new. It's worth celebrating. Is again, it could be your mental health, it could be your physical health, it could be a lot of different aspects about about your developments for yourself. On top of you getting to a place with this person that shows that you've moved up in a level of commitment because y'all have you've persevered through a challenging period where something may not be the same as it once was, but it's not all completely washed away and unworkable. I love this for you, Virgo. Absolutely love this for you. I do hope that you guys find this reading to be helpful. Um, but that pretty much does it for what I mean, I've been rambling for a hot minute. I hate to take y'all into the whole 40-minute reading. But until next time, good luck, Virgo.